All right. Here we are with Fellowship, Star Wars, Spiders and Snakes, Season 2, Episode 5. The name of this episode is The Gallows. I am Devin. We are in September 2021, and I am Devin playing the Empire framework, the Spider and Snake Alliance. And here with me today we have
Adam playing Lamnar the Kaminoan as the Spider.
I'm Jonathan playing 93, a battle droid, using the Shattered playbook.
And Peter as Void Within Without, a given abyssal remnant.
All right, guys, let's recap what happened last session.
Oh boy, we came on this planet real hard. Ooh, that sounded weird. We
stopped by the Jedha system.
Thank you. Figured, okay, we'll see what's going on, and then found like a piece of it missing. Just like
Gone.
a ring will be forming.
It has not formed yet because destroyed.
It will not form yet because it's just a few hundred moons right now.
As has been telegraphed throughout this entire series, the First Galactic Empire, who you're not technically fighting, you're dealing with the Spider and Snake Alliance, has a world killer, and it turns out those rumors were true, as Jedha is the first victim of it.
Ooh-wee.
So apparently it's not completely destroying a planet, but it kind of doesn't matter because this is still a humanitarian crisis. So we landed, killed a bunch of clone troopers, killed R2-D2,
saved a bunch of people.
You know, Star Wars stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. The Spider and Snake Alliance is here on Jedha. Jedha is a funeral world where people come to from all over to bury their dead. It had a heretical sect of the Jedi Order in the Old Republic here that just kind of kept to themselves. That has long since been wiped out. And as you're learning, it was one of the places in the galaxy where you could get Kyber Crystals. The First Galactic Empire mined it for all it was worth for their projects, and now the Spider and Snake Alliance is here to pick up the pieces for their projects. So, where we left off the party, you were inside a Jedi temple with some Furians, a Mandalorian clan, and you're planning to go to, what did I call it? The Melting Gods of Syrinx, where currently there are people being forced into work camps to dig up Kyber crystals for the Spider and Snakes Alliance, as the planet itself, missing continental plates and having been cracked open, is currently losing its ability to support life. There are firefights and anti-air guns everywhere, shooting down ships trying to leave without the Spider and Snake Alliance's permission. There are clone troopers and Spider and Snake soldiers all over the place, forcing people to work. It's a pretty big nightmare.
Yeah, so I think one of the first things that we have to do is reach out to the rebellion and tell them that we're going to need a hand here. Because we're pretty cool, but we're not quite...
We were not prepared for this.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't call this... Did I say what this episode was called?
I don't think so.
The Gallows.
The Gallows, thank God. Okay, I already said what this episode was called. Thank God. All right. Perfect. Yeah, all right. Contacting the Empire, your rebellion. How do you want to go about that?
So my X-Wing is damaged. So,
mine was... I ejected from mine, so it's still, instead of autopilot, so it's still in one piece. So you can just connect to that comm link on my ship and then bounce it off to our main ship.
Okay. And what are you looking for from this? For contacting the rebellion, what are you hoping they can provide you?
We're gonna need help. Well, obviously there are ships on this planet, but a lot of them have been shot down, and I'm not confident that we're gonna have enough for this grand of a humanitarian crisis. So we're gonna have to reach out to the Rebel Alliance, who told us that they don't have the assets to help us out, and tell them that we need to fix that. we need help. We need transports. We're going to have a flotilla. We also need a place to put refugees. If we were looking for an opportunity to get a lot of people to be on our side, this would be a great photo opportunity.
What they're going to need is for you to make sure that the planet is landable. You have to get the Spider and Snake Alliance out of here, or make sure they're not shooting ships down, and they can move things around to like get a like allied world to send help, because you guys are also in the Outer Rims. So they can scramble that, but they can't do it if like all those civilian ships they're about to send are going to get butchered.
No problem. So basically, maybe we have like a ticking clock or something, or we can. Do you want to have that be a possible like side effect or a conflict? Like,
there's already there's already a pretty severe ticking clock that's about to go into effect once you get past this hump of Jedha. So
okay,
I feel like that might be a bit redundant, and might like fold into that even. Like it could actually be a part of that. The thing you're going to have to do is you can't fight every Spider and Snake soldier here, and you can't destroy every ship and gun they have. What you can do is you could smash up their leadership to cause them to retreat.
So can we spend intel to find out the last known location of the leader, to find out where exactly this planet he is, or
absolutely
she is? And that, to do that, we would contact the general and ask them if they're scanning the communication to the Spiders and Snake Alliance to see where they're centered or where the main messages are heading, because that's where we assume the leader would be.
That makes sense to me. You're going to be making a making contact roll with sense.
Okay. And I have +2 cents, so that's good.
Ha ha ha.
Hey, cool.
Okay. Let me open up the dice roller, which I should have had opened up sooner. And it's a 2d6, so that's an 8 plus 2, 10.
Oh, 10 off the bat? Then yeah, you can spend force or intel for the appropriate benefits. So yeah, you're good to go for spending.
Should we ask for anything else, or are we just fine with 1 intel for now to find out where the leadership is?
Discover last known location of a leader.
I mean, there are 3 leaders in the. If you spend 3 intel, you get intel on all 3 of them.
Like that sounds like a solid one. We could only negate for a scene. Discover where source of power is located.
Find out what their plan. Actually, we know what their plan is here. So they're just getting the Kyber Crystals.
We could spend 4 force to just deal damage to a leader.
Right?
Can you aerial bombard that location?
Or break up an army into a gang of enemies. That actually could be kind of a solid move. Like we just organize infighting on the planet, and basically like let people know like, hey, the Rebel Alliance is actively on its way. We need to put these guys, or we need to make a distraction. We need to make sure ships can land, and
plus
that way people know.
We had our main ship in orbit, and we knocked out some anti-air guns the previous game just to give them a breathing room.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be able to send some troops in to help us, and that would also justify breaking up the army into a gang of enemies. I'd say spending the intel for the locations and the force just for a nice ace up our sleeve in case we get into a tough fight.
Yeah. Because I can help fight an army, but it's going to suck.
Honestly,
I can damage them.
You're not going to get a chance to spend this stuff once the conflict starts. You might as well spend it now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking we discover where the leaders are, and an army becomes their army becomes a gang. Maybe I don't know quite how that works.
No, I have a pretty good idea for that. That's fine. That works. Okay. Yeah, you call in an open assault from the Mandalorians working like on Kyanite Command, and they're going to rally people together, and the Hutts are going to rally together like bounty hunter and mercenary ships. They're going to send pirates like fucking Hondo Onakis's descended crew. I think by this point, this is Rebels timeline, and Rebels timeline takes place just before New Hope. So that would mean Hondo is an old man grandpa, crime grandpa now. So they just get like pirates. Pirates, Mandalorians, mercenaries are going to swarm on in and just start hammering the planet with the locals to overthrow the Spider and Snakes.
Oh man, teenage... Wait, no, it wouldn't be teenage Boba Fett. Boba Fett's an adult now.
In New Hope, yeah, he'd be an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering he showed up in the next one, and yeah.
Exactly.
That checks out.
Okay, so yeah, Kynet Command takes your orders, and they organize like a big strike against this planet. So in short time, like X-wings, Y-wings, those flying saucer mercenary pirate ships that they have that are actually just flying saucers and are fantastic. Mandalorian tech and gear and barges start like flying on in through the firing lines, dropping like commando pods and transport equipment, and start rallying with the locals in the area that you cleared out to fight. Like the local Mandalorians here will help them.
The flying saucer thing reminds me of a. Never mind. I'll tell you later.
Awesome.
I will not get distracted.
From an intel point of view, it goes like this: Steelhead is in the system on a ring superstructure that orbits the sun of the system's star. There's a superstructure ringing around it that he is on. Tora Pano, that other spider and snake leader, is at the Kyanite like mining operation, or not the Kyanite, the Kyber Crystal mining operation, helping them haul up Kyber Crystals into transport ships to get them out of here. And Anakin Skywalker is on planet, but he's moving around a lot, like coordinating efforts and stuff. So he's been kind of all over the place. Sometimes he's on the ships orbiting the planet. Sometimes he's on the Ringworld installation. He seems to be hard to pin down just because he moves a lot.
Okay. I mean, that's as good as knowing his location of like, hey, he's super mobile. Like, okay,
yeah,
that helps.
Because
it's actually useful.
Because of the moves they have, the spider and snakes can like teleport around. Basically, you can never intercept them when they're on the way to somewhere. Only after they arrive somewhere. And Anakin's just taking advantage of that.
Do you have to force all 3 leadership to flee, or are we just targeting this one that's on the planet right now? Or the 2 that are on the planet right now?
It's honestly not like a hard goal. It's more like you got to cause enough damage that these guys want to bail. Got it.
Like, I don't suppose the Kyber crystals are flammable.
Oh, Kyber crystals, that's going to come up. Like, they're not using their teleport network to haul them. They're putting them in ships in like equipment and like storage bays and stuff. They're not just teleporting them out of here.
I'm imagining like the oil fields in Iraq where they were just like, "Oh, you want these? Light them on fire!" Like
this
start scorched earthing them.
This comes up in Star Wars canon. Kyber crystals are super unstable at a certain size. Like, what are we talking about? What's his name? Fucking Machete Guevara. What was that guy's name that Forrest Whitaker plays?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Saw Gerrera, not Machete Guerrera.
There you
Saw
go.
Gerrera.
Yeah. I'm like, Machete Guerrera sounds awesome, and I would love to play that as like Saw's brother.
Saw's long lost son, Machete Guerrera. Anyway, Saw Gerrera, in one of the last episodes he has in Star Wars Rebels, actually covers this entire topic. Kyber crystals are hyper unstable.
Okay.
So like, we could like focus bombing on like basically those ships. Like they're using their anti-air guns to shoot ships as they're like leaving orbit, or like leaving the planet's surface. So like our ships could be basically meeting their ships as they're exiting orbit or exiting the atmosphere, and basically just doing the exact same thing to them.
Yeah, you'll run the risk of killing civilians who are mining the Kyber crystals and managing the hauling, though, which seems like a bad look. Gotta find a way around
maybe
that.
Send the bounty hunters. Maybe send the bounty hunters to do that.
Is there like a central area where they're doing all the mining, or is it spread out all across the planet?
No, there's one central like deposit they're working over and coordinating all like the workers in. The melting gods of Syrinx. There's a province called the Syrinx province that they're hauling out Kyber crystals from.
Well, if these crystals are extremely volatile and we can disable their main mining operations, they would have no reason to stay because they take what they can and they can't get anymore.
I mean, that sounds solid. Like we take what they want. Plus, that's where a lot of their prisoners are, so we can free prisoners while we're at it, and then get out with the prisoners, or arm them and continue on.
Pete?
Yeah, I agree. Take the thing that they're here for, and then that'll give them a reason to leave. And then the more chaos we give them, the more it'll be more and more. That's how I'm seeing it.
Sounds good to me.
All right, now we need to go somewhere dark.
Okay.
So that void can just kill everybody.
So you all coordinate the military efforts. Like the fleet shows up and they start hammering the clone troopers immediately. Like there's boots on the ground, there's firefights happening, bombings. Like tanks and walkers and mechanized units are being dropped in, and mechanized units on the ground are fighting back. You've turned this planet into a war zone now. There's an active battle, and the army is getting shredded. Like not your army, the Spider and Snake army of troopers.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you guys take a ship and fly your way out to where Tora is. This is one of the parts of the planet that was caught in the crossfire of that super weapon. So it has like a new, impossibly large canyon that you can see, and like burning air and atmosphere that's being ejected into space. There's storms and smoke and combustion and like latent heat as the planet's core is spilling out in like lava geysers. And near that kind of cut, there's like mining operations going. Capital ship weapons have been dropped down or being used to punch their way through cities and temples, and the remains of the people of Jedha, basically. And there are people down there that are just helping dislodge these giant crystals that get sawed in half and put into containment units and being dragged up into loading vessels to be brought up to the capital ships in orbit. It's a huge nightmare. There's stuff going on. Fights aren't really breaking out because the troops have it locked down. But in low orbit above this operation is what looks like a battleship, like a command carrier, that is just receiving the crystals and is clearly a Spider and Snake's aligned ship. So, with a ship in orbit above you and a work camp below, how do you want to proceed?
I think that we definitely want to go in. We want to try to get Tora out of here. And, like the rest of their forces. But if we can maybe capture one of their ships and take it up and get on board their ship, then we could cause even more havoc. Possibly take their ship. And
can we crash their ship into the mining facility? After
if you get onto it.
Miners?
Anything's possible with the Force.
I mean, you could always take the Kyber Crystal being shipped up, rig some explosives onto them, and as they, get loaded up, just detonate them.
Man,
and it will just, create a small superstar of explosion.
Just throw a thermal detonator there. Unfortunately, also, like, doing that to the ship would cause the ship to come crashing down.
Oh, no.
On us.
And the people.
Yeah.
No, it's a solid plan. That's a solid plan. Yeah. All you gotta do is make sure that step one is make sure that there's an escape route for the people.
Yeah, exactly. Like getting to the ship is, we've taken this place, now we can move the fight to the second level of that one Halo level.
Oh yeah, where you have the bomb.
That Halo level. Yeah, you gotta like get onto the Truth and Reconciliation and save Captain Keyes, and start with a sniper rifle and fight on the ground until you get to the thing that takes you up.
I don't remember any of that shit, but awesome.
Yeah, I was just talking about Halo earlier today. That's why it's fresh.
Fucking sick.
Right.
Do these people have like slave collars on them, or like or do they just have like guns pointed at their heads to keep them in line?
They're literally people in their day-to-day clothes that look ragged and covered in soot and ash, being threatened to be shot by clone troopers, and they're working. That's what it is. It's not like they have like a specialized system set up here. They just put boots on the ground and guns in hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rad. I'm very glad for that.
Yeah. This isn't a complicated operation.
That they have bomb collars. Like, come on.
Where do you think they're going to buy a bunch of bomb collars and expense them out for people who are going to die in 5 days from like fucking lung, hot air melt lung poisoning?
Hey, listener, if you're tired of your Vampire the Masquerade storyteller having people suicide bomb into you, just take Dominate 5. You can undominate anybody with less than that.
Don't take Dominate 5. Instead, you want to take Vicissitude up to the point where you can do Bone Vicissitude, and then you also want to take a little bit of Dominate, which is a good thing, and then a bit of Animalism, and then you want to look up how you make Molotov cocktails and Napalm, not on your own computer, though, and you basically are going to own that game.
Yep. There you go. You just won Vampire. You did it.
Right?
Like I said, if you know Vicissitude,
What a cursed game.
Oh, you don't have to be a Zemisi to have that shit. You got to be a Caitiff. Caitiff's the best option because you get whatever fucking powers you want. But like, if you're going to take whatever powers you want, take Celerity.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
chances are you have some significant blood, so you're screwed at the end.
I mean, that sounds like a problem for the character, not the player.
Explaining that to storytellers is so fun.
Right?
Like, I don't care about these consequences.
Right? You'll lose at the end. It's like, no. An imaginary person will lose in a story. I will remain victorious over you. You misunderstand the stakes here. The stakes are non-diegetic.
What's important in a race is making it to the finish line. Nobody cares what happens after.
Right? There's an actual book about that, about this kid who goes sledding, or he has like a sled dog, and it's like a whole thing about how his dog has to cross the finish line and its heart gives out, and like the guy in lead picks up the dog and the boy and crosses the finish line for him so they can get there. And it's like, that's the moral of the book. He won. Don't forget any other context for what was going on. The point of the story was he won the race. That dog fucking died? No. The dog won first place. It doesn't, but it died. Yeah, but that's not a condition of winning the race. The dog won the race.
Yeah. It's a happy ending, guys. He won.
Peter and Reciteer.
Game is over, yes.
Peter and Reciteer. I paid off the debt. It's like, yeah, but you can make friendship with like all these people at Max Friendship. It's like, Devin, the debt is paid off. Friendship was not part of this.
But you needed the friendship to pay off the debt, though.
Not if you put it the right way.
I mean, I'm on Peter's side. Like Breath of the Wild, I got a skeleton horse one night, and I was like, and it disappeared at sunrise, and I almost quit the game because of it. But that's okay because I was also going to quit the game because I won because I had a skeleton horse. Nothing else matters. Beat it, Calamity Ganon. I have a skeleton horse.
Right? Good times.
I even named it after our late cat. It was really sad. I was like, I'm naming it Franklin because, and then it like dusted, and I was like,
yeah, that's what happens in the sunlight.
Stay in the shadows, children.
So that ship's in orbit. People are mining below. Kyber crystals being ripped up out of the ground and put into the kind of loading ship to be brought up to the capital ships in orbit when they're all ready to leave. You guys are
one loading ship or several?
It's like a ship, like just floating above the city, literally like in Rogue One, and then like other ships bringing material up to it, and then it's going to ascend up and probably like go to a bigger ship and leave.
Okay, so then, and the ship that's being loaded up with material has like weapons.
Oh yeah,
like it's capable of.
Yeah, it probably has weapons.
Then, essentially, if we take out the army that's guarding the slave captives, the ship above would be able to fire down upon us. So if you take the ship above, then there's still the army holding the people captive we have to deal with. So should we split up to take out those two problems simultaneously?
Let's stay together until we get to Plan B. Like, we go in together, we focus on disrupting the operation, and then once the opportunity presents itself, like if whoever is available to make that move, make the move.
Honestly,
to get to the ships.
Hearing the plan, I think splitting up actually sounds pretty good because you could just do both things at once, like freeing the people on the surface by taking out the ground forces and also securing the ship, which you could probably load people onto. Like, just jettison the Kyber crystals, dump them.
We could probably just get to the ship and like take a bunch of bounty hunters and blood-hungry Mandalorians with us and just take their ship. Like, that sounds. Oh, hey. Pumpkin's playing with my dice. Hey, buddy. But like maybe we can like do that and then have an asset to give to the rebellion.
Yeah.
To to gamify it a little bit, but
that makes sense.
It's supporting what we would want to do anyways, which is really cool.
All right, I'm up for sneaking aboard the big ship to hijack it.
Awesome.
Bad. I am too.
Wait, then who's on the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I guess,
okay. Sorry, right. I completely forgot that we were splitting up. I'm like, yeah, everything sounds great. I'm on board for whatever. Wait, I can't do that.
Leave the ghost below.
Yeah, let's split up.
I'll be on the ground.
What are we splitting up to find? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear over the sound of us splitting up.
Yeah, I'll stay on the ground because I did specifically want that scene of like protecting people and
right,
helping them get to the shuttles and stuff. So
I guess I'll stay on the ground because there are more corpses here for me to raise as an army.
Nice.
It's fair.
I'll bring Meathead. We called back from the ship, so he's with me, and
Perfect.
Dom and Dom, I suppose.
Yeah, Dom will come with you.
Nice.
He'll come with you with his buds.
Yeah,
He thinks that's awesome.
I didn't take Chevron Laser React with me, but
No.
so he's staying in his vault where it's safe. Don't you ever hurt my baby boyfriend.
There it is. Okay.
This isn't a ship.
You guys fly on in on that one X-Wing. You drop off, I'm assuming you're dropping off UM-93 while Lamnar, you're going to try and sneak aboard the ship, right?
Yes.
So,
I think we're going to just hijack one of the loading ships to get onto the bigger loading ship.
All right. How good are you at stealth, Lamnar? Like, are you really good at stealth?
Stealth would be Grace, I believe, right?
I didn't mean like for rolling. I
Yeah,
just meant from moves and superpowers you have.
Oh, I'm not the stealth version of the spider, but also I still have wall walking so I can just crawl on surfaces I really shouldn't be able to. And
Okay.
recently, I became a threat to the world with a rather nifty ability called a Dark Portent. So, if I can,
Yeah, go for it.
all right. So with the loading ship that's basically just came down to the surface to just be packed full of Kyber crystals, after the crystals are loaded, while they're still warming up to just fly up to the ship in orbit.
Yeah, there's two clones right now managing the back of the ship. Like, they're loading things up, sealing it up, talking, and they're like, "Is this transport?" Like, one trooper goes over. It's like, "Trooper, is this transport ready to go?" "Yes, sir. It should be ready on time as expected." "Excellent. Emperor Skywalker will be pleased."
All right, and then there is a scuttling, like a loud tuk 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 noise from the bottom of the ship.
Did you hear that, trooper? Probably nothing. You should check it out anyway. Never can be too careful.
Okay.
One of them's going to break off from the rest of the group.
Yeah. No. They can be in a group. I don't think that's the problem. When they head back, they see one of the panels is open, but then they look down. There's nothing there, and then there's a tuk 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 from the top of the ship.
Okay. What happens next? Do they like investigate? Do they check it out? Do they stay there looking around? What happens next?
I think that when they go they go looking around for what's making that noise, all of a sudden they hear they gather together and they're looking around, and then eventually they just stop and look up, and they see on the ceiling a massive coil of machinery, cybernetic limbs, and long spindly arms as this Kaminoan cyber monstrosity just peering down on them, and then right next and holding on to what looks to be a giant mutant clone trooper with a giant gun pointing at them. As I activate my web spinning trap, a dark portent, I terrify them and they flee the scene.
All right, they book, and one of them screams out, "This is nothing like the simulations."
Oh no!
They book.
Nice. So yeah, we got a ship.
All right, you're able to get up to the capital ship. Let's swap over back to UM-93 and Void with and Without. You guys are arriving on scene. How would you prefer to arrive on scene to the work camp?
Do you mind if I look closely?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I'm going to be looking for like an advantageous place, or like a maybe the commander's tent, just anywhere where it's like us showing up would do the most damage. And I got 9 plus, I think, at least 2.
All right, so for look closely,
at least
throw some stuff at me.
Yeah. What? And I actually have the book open. Yay!
And you could like make up your questions too. Just use those as like a guiding principle.
Yeah. Let's see. I know what's going on here. Is there something hidden or out of place? And if so, what looks suspicious?
I don't have anything prepped off the top of my head for the mining camp. Does anyone else have suggestions? If anyone has nothing interesting, that's okay. It just means everything is as it seems.
Maybe
Maybe there's one area that they keep all the slaves away from. Something.
Or maybe there's
or
like specifically like a holding area.
All right.
Like
that could be there.
They put the people there, and as somebody dies, they drag somebody out of the larder to go to work.
Okay, sure, that can be there. Easy. What's your next question?
Tell me about. Could I ask about Tora at this point? Like,
Yeah,
tell me
go
about
for it.
Tora. What are they doing? What are they doing? What will they do next?
So Tora is currently on a screen, and you know what, Lamnar, I'm going to say you get onto the ship and like you're able to kind of like you sneak around, and maybe you and your guys can observe this from a vent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll set a scene up for that. So I have a Tora scene that I can give you at the end of the questions if you want. All right. What's your third question?
What will happen when I release, if I release the prisoners?
So I think if you release the prisoners, the clones will start like shooting and turns into a skirmish. I could also see a world where your troops have already gotten here and are already starting to attack the camp, and it's already in chaos. But I'm not committed to that yet. But that's the kind of two outcomes I see. Do you have any other suggestions?
Maybe what if we are able to arm the people in order to make it like a firefight?
I could see that.
Maybe even
arm them.
Maybe even just just hand them a bag of thermal detonators and say, "Hey, just go cause problems."
So just chaos.
Maybe give us a temporary access to the dangerous tag on something.
Yeah, no, like if you have bombs and stuff, you have it. That's no problem. My question would be, that's going to probably get people caught in the crossfire. Are you okay with that? Also, I'm going to point out, I think this conversation on a look closely roll is the closest we've ever gotten to doing look closely the way it was intended. We're just going back and forth, being like, well, what about this? What about this? Which makes me feel like a jackass.
I think that is solid, and in that case, we may not immediately release the people, because it's no, we don't want them to get caught up in the crossfire yet. We want them to be able to get out, so we should get them a way out before we open the doors and start releasing them.
All right. Well, you're looking closely.
Instead of
what would that way out for them look like in the mining camp?
I think that there's there are trenches just dug into the mining camp.
Yep.
And if we can clear one of those trenches and just make it so that there aren't just clone troopers standing up just taking pot shots of people as they run by, we could use that trench, which leads to a landing pad. Okay. So somebody could one of the ships that's waiting to take off, another ship waiting to take off or something, could be loaded with the people, and then we get them out of there.
Okay, I'll give you the Tora scene, and then I'll let you take the lead on how you start freeing and causing chaos, and we'll start to go into reactions from that. Which, again, I think this is the closest we've ever gotten to doing it the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, I like this.
Oops, sorry, Vel. Okay, so the Tora scene plays out like this. You get to the command tent where there's a clone trooper with his helmet off and a couple other clones there, and they're going over logistics, and they're on a hollow screen talking to a hologram of Tora. On the ship, Tora is in one of her command rooms, without clones in it, going over the Kyber Crystals, the mining operation, timetables, and she looks stressed. You can hear her cybernetics in person grinding away inside her skull. And yeah, the clones are complaining to her, being the people here aren't working fast enough, the equipment isn't efficient enough, you need to find a solution so we can get this going. Skywalker, this is what Emperor Skywalker demands, and you need to solve this problem. And Tora's I don't like your tone, Tankborn. You don't tell me what to do, all right? If you don't have the resources to handle this, that's your failure, not mine. Get it together. And the clone trooper completely dismisses her. We don't care what you think. You're Lord Skywalker's charity case. Get it done, witch, or we'll do it for you. And Tora, at this point, clearly looks like she's at the end of a rope of a much longer conversation you guys stumbled into. And just, you could hear that grinding sound, and those three troopers hold their heads, and two of the troopers' helmets shatter while they're wearing them, and they drop to the floor dead. And the one that's talking to her is clearly, like, bleeding out of the ears and the mouth while holding his head. When a hologram of Anakin Skywalker pops in, I sensed a disturbance in my operation down here. Is everything functioning nominally? And the clone, looking at the dead, looks up at him. No, Lord Skywalker, everything's going fine. Everything's on schedule. We've cleared out all of the we've cleared out any of the interference that we're looking for. You should expect your payload shortly. Very good, Trooper. You've done a good job. Leave us. And as the Trooper walks out, the hologram turns to Tora, and in Tora's room, you can see him looking down at the holograms of the dead clones. Tora, what did Master Yoda say about wastefulness? What was that little parable, that line he always had, in that fun, special way he said it? And Tora looks like she breathes in as what to say. It's like, no, shut up. I don't care what he actually said. I don't deal with what old dead losers said. That's your job. My job is to be the Emperor of known space. Your job is to keep me happy and not waste my men. Keep yourself in check or you'll end up like Steelhead. And he just ends the call. And you just see her standing there with this look of realization that she's absolutely impotent in this whole setup now, and that things have gone wildly out of control, just fuming as the room around her starts to crack and shatter, and like a lot of the metal and machinery just bursts and explodes in a little tiny force tantrum. So, Tora's on the ship, clones are on the ground. That's the setup.
Oh no,
Nice.
Truth Void was right all along.
Who could have possibly predicted that Anakin Skywalker was a huge piece of shit? That's so strange for Star Wars.
That's so not in character.
Right? Anakin Skywalker, Emperor of the Known Galaxy, the chosen one.
Him calling himself that just makes it better, worse.
He's the Holy Tyrant. That's another thing he calls himself.
Thanks,
Anakin-
Morpheus.
But Anakin, what is holy? I don't know. Ask the angels.
It's like, what is holy? His will. Why is he a tyrant? Because he makes because he frees you from having to make the choices you're usually burdened with. He has been burdened with glorious purpose.
Oh.
So that's my setup for
Beautiful.
Tor's current situation and the situation on the ground with the Spider and Snake Alliance. 93, if you want to jump on in with your entrance, go for it.
Oh yeah. So, I. That's right. We're gonna aim for making the clearing of the path.
That's right.
Either by probably a mixture of like sending the troops kind of like in one direction while and Void, if he's with where's Void?
With whom?
With whom?
Okay. While we basically go and kind of like just snipe out the stragglers who are doing their jobs. They should definitely be guarding this area. We need them to not be.
Okay. All right. So you're going to encounter clone troopers you're going to have to deal with. How do you want to go about that? There's are you already starting the chaos with the prisoners, or has that not come yet?
That's going to come after we clear the way for them, because I don't want them to get caught in the crossfire. I don't want a bunch of tired, desperate people to just be like...
The escape route is stationed with loyal, alert clone troopers with weapon emplacements and guard towers and shit. So, how do you want to go about dismantling that?
Oh boy, is there...
We go to the open grave pit, raise the dead, and just send them as meat shields on them?
Yeah, okay. How does that work, Pete? How does that work?
I guess Void with him out just flies over to where the dead bodies are and starts filling them in with the darkness from beyond the stars and raising them up as deadites
from the mass grave that they probably have.
So you fill a bunch of dead bodies with Kandarian demons.
Yeah.
Which is what they're canonically called in this universe. They are demons from the Zepho homeworld of Kandar.
Awesome. will be offering cover fire for that. Like and Oom's they're 93 and they're just the droids that they have picked up along the way. They all set up in emplacements and stuff. So basically, once the dead start moving, we can start moving with them.
Now, I do have to point out, these are not shambling, stupid zombies. These are corpses that have been infused with the type of demons from the Evil Dead. These things are fast, malicious, and torture-y. They enjoy doing violence, and they enjoy being malicious. So once they start getting up, they start swarming in like predator packs to like find people who are, isolated and alone and pick them off.
Yeah, so we're not going to let people out of the prison until we have a clear way out.
Okay, I'm going to assume you're going to run into conflict with some clone troopers. Like, there's going to be a squad of clone troopers that tags you to and is going to start opening fires. So that's a threat coming down the pipe.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to try to overcome the shooting, basically like covering fire, helping make sure that the ritual goes off without a hitch.
Sure. I'm going to use the very standard loadout of a gang of Horde troopers. Where the fuck did that guy that makes troopers not jokes go? Did I delete his stat block?
Probably got punked.
I think I just deleted his stat block like a fool.
No.
That garage.
Brilliant Commander, Horde Archers, Horde Elite, Horde Knight, Horde Lockdown. It's on page 2 or no, page 1 of the Spiders and Snakes scratch pad. Is where you put like the different trooper types.
Damn it! Because no, there's an Empire troop that I need. Yeah, here we go. The Captain.
Okay. Captain.
I gotta have these fucking fools nearby, loaded up, ready to go, ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna spill over onto page 2. Unfortunately, I just can't prevent that.
That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, there's a captain who immediately makes elite troopers super good. There's elite troopers there. There's going to be gangs of them, clearly. And yeah, they're here. None of them is going to be in a large amount of people because you've already started to thin that out with your invading this planet. Also, because I
Awesome.
improv this badly, that conversation between the clones, Tora, and Anakin were about the invasion that's happening, and I completely forgot to mention it because it's very ad-libbed. It's a very loose style of storytelling. So that was like a central argument they had. Oopsie doozle.
And that happens too.
All right. So yeah, you got soldiers that are firing at you. What are you up to?
So I was going to overcome their firing at us to try to stop that cut.
Go for it.
Right.
And you have that power where if you overcome stuff, it overcomes for everyone, right?
Yes. All right. I did get a mixed success. I got a 7 and 8. I got a 9 because I'm using my courage instead of my blood. And because I got a 7, it means I can heal, or I can use get away. And if I used get away, get there quietly, grab someone nearby, and bring them with you. I'm wondering if I could grab Void after they finish the ritual and get us to where, basically we want to go, and then we can sandwich the clone troopers and make this a big problem for them.
Okay.
Get advantage on them.
All right, so that overcome, that just affects everyone. No one's gonna get shot by this because you have shields and bodies you can throw in front of it. Because you're the Shattered, which is a playbook people should check out in book 4. It's fantastic. Oh, I want to get some time playing the Shattered at some point.
Yeah,
highly recommend it.
Play a colony of Lego people.
Yeah, just snaking. Constantly building, unbuilding, and rebuilding to move.
Yeah. Okay. So that stops them from being able to shoot you guys, which gives you guys some sort of action you can take against them. So how do you want to do that?
Do you want me to pass the spotlight over to you, Peter? If you want to
if you have
your guys do stuff.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking. I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Well, you know what we could do?
Get something if you want. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go up to the ship.
Okay.
So Ednar, you're on the ship with your Mandalorians you brought with you. Dom is there with maybe like a couple other guys. Altogether, they're probably like one little group of Mandalorian stat blocks. It's probably like 3 stats for 3 Mandalorians.
Okay.
So what do you do? What's your next move up here?
All right. So we get off the ship, and we get off the ship, and I basically reach through my pack and pull out a canister, which I unscrew, and out from it comes a bunch of marble-sized little robots. My nanobot swarm, I call it AU.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like flying around me. And I'm like, okay, boys. I need you to go into the computers, go into the computer systems and just get me the schematics of where everything is, as I use them to do a look closely.
All right, go for it. What are we doing here? Yeah, look closely is clearly meant to establish the scene so everyone knows what we're doing, and I'm just frustrated I haven't seen that before.
Okay, well, would that also be getting a map of like where like Tano is on the ship and where the
yeah,
controls are, things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So rolling sense, that is an 8.
Alrighty. So, what do you want to see about this place? You get 3 questions. One of them's the hard way, of course, but we'll kind of go back and forth on that. What's happening?
I want to know where I can. Where is the deck? Where can I take control of the ship?
There. Okay. Where do you? Wait. Let's go back to that first one. Where do you want to take control of the ship?
I don't necessarily want to be in the deck because that's the obvious place. I just think that if we want to seize the ship, we first have to get rid of the troops inside of it.
Yeah.
Which would be done either by creating a false alarm in the central bay loading area, and when they all come there when they start getting their forces there to contain whatever threat is there, we can just open up the loading bay and just dump them into space. Or
exactly like in Avatar: The Last Airbender. They did that I think twice.
I think they do that in every show with a spaceship or an airship of some sort.
Right?
It's somebody's birthday today.
That's the plan.
Exactly.
And we can have... So really, I don't really need to seize the controls. I need to seize the alarm system and the deck controls, which...
All right, that sounds like security. Where do you think that would be, and how well protected do you think it would be?
Security, I think, would be... I honestly don't know where. Just be somewhere on the ship we'd have to get to. And it'd be pretty well protected. Not super well protected, but it would have guards there for sure.
All right, so that answers that.
Yeah, second question is, how can we get there safely?
I'm assuming you're going to try and go through vents and stuff, right?
Yes.
Would there be anything that would complicate your character getting to that place safely? Like if they had to be forced out of the vents, they're a big, obvious threat, clearly, right?
Yeah, I'm a giant cyborg Kaminoan monster, so if the vents are too small, it'd be a bit more difficult to screw my way. Actually, no, I have Mihai with me. He's too big to really go through some of the smaller vents, but I can sort of just burrow my way through them if need be.
Okay.
So we may have to jump into hallways and then jump into other vents.
Yeah, or do the Jeffries tubes, or do elevator shafts and shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds solid. So my next question would be, what's your third question?
Where's Tano? And thus leading to the, the hard way, or...
What would be interesting for her to be? I could just have her be in her own room that you can go in and attack her, or she could be somewhere. Is there an interesting place she could be that would make the scene more fun?
Do you want her to find us when we get to security, or do you think you want her to find us on our way to security?
How about on your way to security? Yeah, okay, no, I got a scene for that, and I got a hard way for it. Perfect. Okay. Bickety bam, we're in business. So here's how this is going to play out. You get off that shuttle, and you'll see the Tano scene that played out when you're in the vents. You'll see that happen. It hasn't happened to you yet, obviously, but it will. So just assume it does happen once you enter the vents. A cutscene plays, and you hit skip. So you get out of the ship. You're going to go in the vents. What the fuck are you going to do with Meathead? He's huge. First problem.
Meathead can stay inside the dock bay to be part of the distraction. When we send him an alarm, he can just create a distraction. So then, when everyone's coming to converge in the area to stop him, and maybe some of Dom's Mandalorians, then we send them a second alarm for them to hunker down while I open up the bay and drop everyone else out into space. Yes.
Why don't I just call everyone here?
To him.
Because they know me. Because we're coworkers.
Because they're working with Anakin now, and actually,
because like they're coworkers.
I look at him and I look at him and like, yeah, fair enough. We still need to get control of the security room to be able to open up the door, the bay door. So we still need to do that.
Because I'm going to throw this out to you. Yeah. We have set the precedent that the Spider Snakes Alliance is very loose with traitors. Like, remember how Void of Them Without and UM93 kept betraying you guys, betraying the Spider Snakes Alliance constantly, and they kept letting them come back to work the next day? No one might have taken Meathead. No one would have probably said that Meathead's a traitor. Like, I don't think anyone noticed.
Okay, actually.
I think he works here still.
We bookmark that. Actually, we just go back to work.
Actually, yeah. Okay. Actually, Meathead, do you want to just go to security like normal, and we'll just follow you through the events?
Okay. And he'll start walking to security. Along the way, a troop's like, Meathead, is that you? Yeah. Where have you been? Around. I'm not going to ask any more questions, and they'll move on.
I just look down at my hands, look up, and I'm like, am I going insane?
This could have been so much more complicated.
No.
Remember, guys, the bimbo theory of Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth talking about, but I have the bimbo theory of Star Wars, where there's only 3 types of characters in a Star Wars story: himbos, bimbos, and Emperor Palpatine, who is as smart as a normal person from our world. And if you look at every character from a sliding scale of bimbo to himbo, like, they have a bit of everything, but no Palpatineness in them. Every single plot in like all the Star Wars stories makes so much more sense.
It's just like Mom and Dad Save the World. If you haven't seen that, you should watch that. Oh my gosh, you should watch it. It's so good.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Is that like Mars Needs Moms?
No.
Because I haven't seen that. I only know about it because a trailer for it played before the Men in Black VHS we had out at camp. Men in Black 2 VHS, I think. Anyway, moving on. Meathead is able to effortlessly move through security while you have to jump through vents and shit. Along the way, he runs into Tora. Like, she's just walking through the hallway, looks, and it's like, get out of the way, Meathead. Walks down like a cross-section, turns around, comes back. What are you doing here, Meathead? Boring conversation anyway. He's starting to back up slowly, looking around. She's pressing the issue.
Soldier follows orders.
A good soldier follows orders. It's the way of the Force. He's floundering out there.
I have a great idea for this. Did we hear that conversation with her and Anakin?
Yeah. No, you got that whole cutscene.
We got that whole cutscene? Okay, perfect.
You know what she's walking on. You know that she's pissed.
Yeah, I just come out of one of the vents behind her, scurry around so that I'm hanging upside down from the ceiling, and I'm like, hello, Tano.
She looks up at you. She looks at Meathead, and then realizes that whole conversation about like the attack and stuff that's happening. And she like makes a gesture to get closer.
Yeah, I just the centipede body lowers me down closer to her, so we're face to face.
It's like this Aku monster. Yeah,
right. Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
It's funny too because we had a whole like discussion bond in like season 1 where we actually discussed like philosophy and the Empire and the ends and the means.
Right? That was a whole great thing. Anyway, she gets back down, and she has a thing called Aloof Mastermind, which lets her spring a trap at any location. She can trigger at any time, which she'll set off as soon as you get close enough. The alarms go off, and the security grates shut down here, and she whispers to you, I'm a hostage. Please rescue me. And stabs you for necrotic damage.
Okay. All right.
And then guards start convening on your location, and turrets start coming out of the ceiling and scanning you guys.
Okay. It went differently than I thought. I wanted to talk to her first, but okay. Well,
She wants to talk to you too, but she doesn't want to get murdered by Anakin Skywalker. She's a hostage. You got to save her.
Fighting and talking. Fighting and talking.
Like
right,
the next, if there was another line, she'd be like, "Yes, I think I'm willing to quit now."
Can I overcome the damage? Or do I just take it straight and we can just switch the spotlight over to you?
She hard cuts you.
Okay. All right.
So
I think this is a good point to switch scenes. Or
spotlight back to Jonathan and co. What are you guys up to?
So now that we've gotten to where the people are like being held,
Yeah.
And actually, possibly like behind their lines, like that might have actually been like the happy goal of like now we're on the other side of their fortifications. So as the as the demon horde, as they apparently are, is like getting shot up from the front. We just got some clear shots from behind that we're just going to start taking.
All right.
I say shots, but like I'm also a melee weapon. Like it's not going to be good for them, I hope, or it could be great for them, and we could roll poorly.
All right.
Who
so
knows?
Soldiers are going to come in. They're going to try and get you guys. How do you want to deal with them? You're by where the people are being held, right?
Yeah, like
Okay.
they're not out yet. We're just there. Like we are where we are not supposed to be.
Yeah, there are definitely soldiers here, and they're definitely like getting a little antsy. Like these are clones; they're not monsters. They're not going to like just start killing slaves or prisoners of war because that's just not what they're like. But like they're going to get antsy and start trying to shoot you guys once they recognize that you're here and what you're doing. They know what you guys are now.
Okay.
Not in the supernatural sense, that you're rebels. They know what the Rebel Alliance is.
Yeah, they know us. They've seen us in the dossier.
This is close
Watch
enough.
out for these guys.
This is literally close enough to New Hope that they know about that old ARC trooper or clone commander Rex working for the Rebel Alliance, drumming up trouble as an old soldier for the Galactic Empire. Like they know about the Rebel Alliance.
So are we dealing with like all? I think it's 4, like the soldier, the trooper, the warmonger, and the captain. That's basically what we have to deal with.
You know what? I'm going to say that you're probably not going to have a brilliant commander. I'm going to put an asterisk next to what's on the field. So let's say we have a lockdown, because they're going to be, locking people down, an exclusive knight, and just a gang of troopers. So those 3 things: a knight, a lockdown, and a gang of troopers.
Oh, there we are. So protects the area. Nobody can move through a group. And anyone trying to keep busy fails. Okay. And a knight. Knight's attacks are giant. And we have to damage a cool armor twice. Very cool.
Yeah. So the knight's probably like an ARC trooper with like a kitted out piece of gear. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's... okay, gang. I see you. Put that in. Awesome. Group, gang, or army. Okay.
Yeah, they're the guards of the area.
Okay. Then I will... do we have advantage over them since we basically probably like just flew in too? Like I think we both fly. Like
if
there's like a number of ways.
All right. Can you give me a justification by spending a resource of some kind, or maybe taking away some narrative momentum that you might have? Like, let's say they're used to the zombies by now, if you want to drop in with advantage, or let's say that they're anticipating things. I don't know. What can you give me to give yourself that advantage without just like giving it to you for free? What would make things have stakes here?
I have a part. So I have parts. There we go.
Okay.
One of my parts is useful.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I will spend a useful part.
I'm going to assume that's like a battle droid. No, I got a better one. I got a better one for you for parts. It's one of your gonk droids. It just like it's going to mosey on in where these troopers are and detonate.
Oh, jeez. I was gonna say like we get like a barrier up or something, but yeah, okay.
All right, so the troopers are just hanging out, talking about, it's just like the good old days, right? It is just like the good old days, trooper. I can't believe we're fighting under General Skywalker. I never got to fight under Skywalker. I was born afterwards. Oh, you missed a golden age. General Skywalker's the best. He's such a great commanding leader. I agree. He's also a great leader. Look at his hair. His hair really sells it. Mm-hmm. And then, gonk, gonk, and then a whine sound. Hey, look at this little guy. What are you up to? Boom. Then there's a ringing in people's ears. Some of people's helmet visors are shattered. There's tinnitus everywhere. And you're in. What's happening?
Just covered in tinnitus. As soon as we go in, U93, I think they just jump into melee with them.
All right.
It's kind of a nightmare. I'd say it's not quite General Grievous. It's like, what if General Grievous was a big stompy robot?
Yeah, that's how I was describing him when they fought him in the Future Vision Demon scene last session.
So a not dreadnought just shows up and starts attacking clone troopers. We're basically just like making our toys kiss, going.
Finish these fools.
That is a 9.
Right.
So
deal damage.
I deal some damage. It's not piercing or anything. I will. Oh, nope. I will not, because I have not had time to... Well, actually, okay. I think I used my necrotic weapon against R2, but I rolled a 10 and just killed it. So does that...
No, you're fine.
Does that still use it?
No, you're
okay.
You don't waste
I will
resources
use it
in Fellowship. Fellowship is forgiving that way.
Yeah. I will use that to target the Horde Knight with a necrotic weapon.
Oh god, what does necrotic do to NPCs? It's been a while.
Despair.
And what does despair do to NPCs?
Oh, I think they have despair, which means they can never succeed at any action.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I think I described the necrotic weapon. It's described as melee, but it's basically just like a disruptor. One of those dumb things that shoots you and kills you slowly for no reason. It's
and like despair isn't necessarily fear. It's like being so grievously wounded that you give up the fight because you go into shock. So yeah, you just run up and stab this ARC trooper in front of all the clothes they're getting their bearings. Like it's like a scene from Metalocalypse or from like a really violent, like one of those really violent kind of cartoons where they really amp it up. Oh, we were just watching something that got like just super over the top, and I don't remember what it was anymore. It wasn't Rick and Morty. It was like a more recent show. But like, I don't know where.
Superjail.
Not Superjail. I haven't seen that shit. But like, you run in as a big, augmented, scary B1 battle droid and just walk up to an ARC trooper and stab him, or it's like a short range weapon. You just shoot him in the stomach, and he hits the ground writhing. And the rest of them are like getting their bearings. People are scrambling for their weapons. A dude's putting his helmet on. There's a trooper in the background, like holding his head, rocking back and forth. It's chaos.
And again, they do that thing where they look with their angry red droid eyes and that low voice, Roger, Roger.
Oh my god. Pete, what are you up to?
Well, I guess I can keep people busy because we're as a light, so I can boogeyman something. Maybe
Peter, I need to point something out to you, Peter. This planet was hit by a super weapon. It does not have consistent lighting. It's mostly cloud cover and darkness, highlighted by fire and molten metal. It's your element here, dog.
Go do that thing that you do so well.
Well, in order for me to kill people, I need to have them separate in the darkness. But if they're outside of light, I can keep them busy no matter who they are. So I guess I'll keep the Horde Trooper gang busy to set up something for
Sure thing. Also, you can pick people off because a lot of people did get separated because a concussion thing went off.
Yeah, but not like individual people are stats actually. So
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's happening. Okay, that's 10 plus. So I'm keeping them busy, being a wraith. Trying to just teleport around and making them try to shoot me all around and missing.
A goddamn Insidious or the Conjuring demon starts fucking with these guys.
Yeah.
All right. They're going to rally and a James Wan style demon basically, because I just learned recently that he did Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, the Annabelle movies. He's done all of it. Lights Out. It's fucking crazy. He did all those recent horror movies where it's like a cinematic, super big universe. It's awesome. So yeah, one of those monsters is what
Nice.
you're acting like, and you just wreak house on them and terrorize them and throw them around. They're going to rally and start trying to open fire on you guys. Peter, are you hurtable? Like, can I actually damage you in any way?
Well, can you damage a Force Ghost?
No. I
Like,
have no one here who could do that other than, like, Anakin, Tora, you know. I don't know.
Well, there's your answer.
All right. Just checking in on that. Like, if a bomb explodes, will the bomb hurt you? If, like, you know, a bunch of lava gets poured where you are, will that hurt you?
Let's see. I cannot touch anything or anyone. Everything passes to me, so
Okay. Yeah.
I don't
No.
think that's works.
I'd have to do psychological damage, and that's really hard in the specific way we're playing this game.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not a horror game like the other one.
Right. All right, Insuling, what do you got for us? Because you got threats coming down the pipe.
I thought that there was a talk sense. Oh wait, talk sense is ask for help. I thought there was another one.
Speak softly.
Yeah, that
Okay, is it speak softly? That
But that's like
Yeah,
for
quiet
one-on-one
chat with
conversations. Yeah.
all right. I'm going to try to basically get them to stand down.
Let's not like finish them with.
Yeah, that'd be a finish them.
Yeah. So I think that's the that is the scene that I'm going to be working towards then.
With a wisdom, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
And the way that I'm going to be setting that up is just like I just did super violence.
I mean, Pete
And,
also is keeping them busy, which should give you advantage, I think, to
true.
justify that.
Okay. Then yeah, I will attempt to finish him again, but this time I'll use wisdom to basically call for a surrender in big, scary dreadnought voice, except, you know, it's still saying things that an 93 would say in that unjustifiably, what's the word I used before? The unjustifiably, like, certain of themselves? Confidence. There we go.
Unearned confidence.
Unearned confidence. There. Yep, there it
like
is.
Like
So
how
here we go.
Kevin Federline lives every day of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, I was married to Britney. I was married to Britney Spears once. I was
Yeah,
a
he
rapper
stole
for
her-
a while.
Yeah, he stole her kids.
Yeah, oof. Didn't know about that.
Moving
I did
on.
roll an 11 though. So I rolled an 11, and since I'm a gang, since I think I'm a group. I could affect like more than one like person. So
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and do that to like the horde and the or to the lockdown to the just the horde trooper. Horde lockdown, horde trooper.
Wait, are you using
Eh.
wisdom to forge a
Okay.
bond with them?
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
I'm attempting to get them to surrender because like you said, like they're clone troopers and like they're loyal to Anakin, but they're not mindless slaves.
Yeah.
And like they follow orders, but there's like
If you want them to
a
surrender-
sense of self-preservation.
If you want them to surrender, that's with grace.
Oh, with grace, okay.
Yeah. They will admit defeat and not challenge you again. That's what a surrender is, right? That's what happens when you say uncle. You admit that you've lost and you give up.
Yeah, I guess so. Then I rolled a 9.
Ah, sad.
Yeah.
Well, they do only have one stat.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
All right,
true.
Roll
cool.
this.
So that was a lockdown in the troopers?
Yeah,
Okay, you wiped the entire scene.
'Cause
Everyone here is now disabled.
perfect. Okay, now I think we can start moving people.
Okay, yeah, people will start to organize and move with you and stuff, and like move through that the clear corridor you've set up, and we'll move back to the ship. So Lamnar, what I've queued up is machine guns are just gonna start shooting where you are, and clones are gonna start flooding in to open fire, and then Tora is going to quote unquote escape. into a different part of the ship. So, what do you have in response to that?
All right. First of all, when I took necrotic damage, does one of the things count as just suffering a setback? Because that's what this whole thing is.
I don't. Sure. Why? For what reason? Where's it coming from?
When I take 2 damage, I pay a price, right? Or is that just literally just 2 damage directly?
You took 1 damage. Necrotic.
It's been a while since I've necrotic damage is marked twice, so that's why I'm confused.
Yeah, but it's not like pay a price. There's that doesn't interact with the pay a price.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. I misunderstood that then. So I just
you mark the same the one stat twice, pretty much. Or...
Yeah, or just put like an N for necrotic.
Okay, I misunderstood that then. Okay, the next thing's easier. Following up, can I grab Tano while we escape, just so she can't just run away?
Yeah, you can do that. Like, you can try. Like, she's going to make a show of fighting back and stuff. So.
Oh yeah. I'm going to talk sense and whisper to her, "Play along," while we mock fight, and I grab her with my centipede tail and book it.
All right. It'll be talk sense, but also you got those turret rounds coming at you.
All right. So talk sense would be.
Yeah, let's do the talk sense first, and then basically the turret thing's going to resolve.
That is a 12.
Okay, talk sense. What do we do with talk sense? It's been a little while. Okay, first, what did you roll with?
I rolled a sense.
Detail your plan and their place in it, and they'll do as you ask to the best of their ability. Okay, yeah, no, they'll do as you ask to the best of their ability. Okay, yeah, they'll play along with you, and now take damage from turrets shooting you.
Okay. I'm just going to say I'm going to spend 1 of my web for armor, and it's going to just damage that armor.
Perfect. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what's your next move? Clones are going to start coming in soon, and the turrets are going to, continue firing, but Tora is basically going to let you kidnap her.
Okay. Because again, I am I'm toric, so my lower body is just a giant centipede monstrosity. I'm going to say that part of it's just going to wrap around. Part of it's going to wrap around Tora, and I'm going to hold quote unquote a knife to her chest, so this looks like I'm kidnapping her, and then just book it with Meathead, scurrying along the ceiling like the monster I am as we try and reroll to these moves. Reroll
get away.
To get away. That's the one. Honestly, I can't keep this name straight in my head. Really get away. At the same time, I also radio Dom and the Mandalorians and ask them if they can distract the troops and bring him closer to the loading bay like we originally planned.
Yeah, right. They'll try to tail him back. It's like, sure thing, boss. We'll do it or die trying.
All right, rolling to get away. That is, with grace, it is a 7. So,
all right, pick your option from the list.
Because I'm Toric, do I need to grab someone and bring them with you? I thought that. Let me see if it's not done automatically.
Yeah, you might.
I can always take someone with me. Yeah, perfect.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. So I get there. Do I want to draw no attention or avoid harm along the way? I think we want their attention to be drawn by Dom and the Mandalorians. So we're just going to try and stealth it while we're taking damage.
Good. Take harm from the turrets. Take harm along the way.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You escape with Tora. So now you can have a conversation with her as you're in the run through the ceilings.
For the harm, I think I'm going to just damage the... we can damage equipment, right? Or gear?
Well, no. Damage is damage. You were taking damage to a stat. So unless you got a thing to weasel your way out of it, like with armor or something, it goes to one of your stats.
No, I think it was... I think I'm fine. I'll just damage one of my stats. Okay, so I'm with Tano while I'm holding her, and I just slowly pull the knife back so it doesn't actually...
I assume you're just in the suit vents now, and you guys are just fucking traveling. Like, it's not like a whole thing.
Yeah. So I look back to her. It's like, okay, so What's going on?
Anakin Skywalker is a high-functioning sociopath.
Thinking back to the war crimes he supposedly did not commit. Yes. Okay, I can believe that.
Now, that wouldn't be a problem because, Maul and Steelhead were balancing him out, but Maul is gone for some reason, and Steelhead doesn't do well with Anakin on his own for some reason. I haven't been able to figure it out.
Okay, so what's this I heard about Emperor Anakin? The troopers were talking about that.
Oh, yeah, the clones call him that now. It's great. He's talking about how maybe the Sith Empire had the right idea with the Holy Tyrant making all the freeing everyone from decisions and will and, ruling for them. Yeah, he's real into it these days.
So even if you guys take down the Emperor, you're just going to have a new Emperor in the works. Okay.
It's
what's
all
your
the
plan?
same. It's all the same plan. We're still trying to kill the Emperor, but it's spiraling out of control now that Anakin's here. He has different plans. The same plans, but he's taking them in directions we didn't really anticipate.
You're planning for the Empire with Emperor gone, for the Empire to fall, and there to be a Republic, but with a new Emperor right in the wings, that's not really going to work.
I don't really care about that either way. I'm really focused on that first part, knocking the dominoes over, and Anakin didn't seem like the worst choice for Force-using ruler of the galaxy, but he's definitely taking it further than I would have liked. And unlike the rest of unlike the rest of these pathetic Sleemos I've been working with, he's the chosen one.
Meaning?
Do you not know anything about Jedi?
I worked in Kaminoa. I know clones, engineering, warships. I don't know mythology here. I know he was a skilled general during the war.
Anakin Skywalker was
you're all wizards, so
Anakin Skywalker was found on a desert planet and was an immaculate birth. They trained him in the Jedi Order, and there were prophecies that he, the chosen one, would arrive and unite the entire galaxy under the Jedi Order and the light side of the Force, banishing the dark forever and finally bringing balance to the galaxy. It's come up a bunch of times.
I just turned my head to look at her I'm processing that. Okay. And he plans to do that by becoming the Holy Tyrant.
Yeah, someone taught him about the Sith. I don't know where he would have gotten that information from. It's not the kind of stories Jedi would tell you. But he knows all sorts of things about how they used to rule, and he's taken a liking to it.
So he has to be stopped. Okay. That's... Shit. Okay.
One emperor at a time.
One emperor. one emperor at a time. Okay, so are you willing to work with us to take down Anakin and stop this madness going on this planet?
Yeah, we need to get out of here. Yeah.
Can we hijack this ship?
I'm out.
Okay. All right. Glad to have you aboard. We're just looking around. We're trying to basically just dump all the troopers currently on the ship and hijack it. Do you have the access codes for the security room?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go there then.
Okay.
As we continue along our way.
All right.
I can't think of anything else to ask her right now. Actually, yes. While we're going, I do want to ask one thing. What happened to Steelhead?
Steelhead's the Empire has an installation around the star in this system that Steelhead's spearheading the reconnaissance on. All of the Imperial soldiers and staff left after whatever they did to Jedha, and we're trying to figure out why. We think they're doing something to the star. We think there might be a failsafe of some sort, but we haven't gotten that deep into it yet. The situation has been chaotic and unplanned. But Steelhead's vulnerable right now.
Do you think he's going to be willing to work with us to take down Anakin as well?
Look, you've already found the best member of the Alliance to work with. Let's not push our luck here. Just you and I. No more lawyers.
I just smile. All right, and then while we're just traveling, I just nod. I just smile at that. And just while going, I just ask, "What's the plan with all these crystals?" You're taking all these Kyber crystals from this planet. What do you intend to do?
General Skywalker was called many things during the war. Original was not one of them. He has enough information and data, and that miserable little monster machine of his, that pet, has enough technical know-how that he's going to replicate the weapon they're building on a smaller scale. He says he doesn't need to kill worlds, just blow up capital centers.
You have the schematics for the weapon that destroyed this planet?
No, he's been able to backwards engineer the technology just using logical leaps. The thing with the weapon they built is once you know what they're doing, the technology for it just kind of reveals itself. It's quite fascinating, actually. Once you sort of know what the key components are, you can sort of backwards engineer anything you want from it. We don't need to blow up a planet or destroy a galactic plate. We just need something strong enough to punch through defense shields and nuke city centers.
And what was the weapon?
Something bigger than that. A world killer. They strip mined this place of Kyber crystals for it, and we're just taking whatever they left behind that's left in the planet for a smaller scale version. It's not original. It doesn't have to be.
Okay. I'm just thinking about the consequences of having that sort of a weapon in the hands of spiders or snakes and the hands of holy tyrant Anakin.
Yeah, he'll combine it with our webway system. Don't you ever wonder how we can get around so quickly? We have a series of travel gates that allow you to cut the distance in between 2 points in space. His whole plan is to build an installation in some cut-off part of the galaxy no one can get to and fire on targets through holes. He won't have to get into orbit. He won't have to get in position. He'll just paint a target and drop it on them.
You'll have a gun to the head of every city in the galaxy.
Yeah, it would be ingenious if it wasn't so over the top.
My mouth is sort of open while I'm just like taking in the full horror and potential of this technology.
Guys, it's literally the black sound from Supreme Commander.
I actually stole this from another unoriginal thing. This is how the god of Mechanicus world in D&D works. Like, he's like Mecha God or Mechanico or whatever, and he has a giant gun with a Stargate in front of the barrel, and whenever he hates someone, they dial up the Stargate and fire around through it. That's all Anakin's doing.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
He's just gonna hide somewhere.
I keep thinking of Loda from Schlock Mercenary, the long gunner of the apocalypse.
I don't know Schlock Mercenary at all. I've never interacted with it other than just knowing its name. Oh, this is also stealing from Star Trek DS9, where they take a sniper rifle and combine it with a X-ray vision scope and a teleporter, and they're like, yeah, we just teleport the bullet 5 centimeters away from their skull at full velocity, and it takes care of Kennedy for us. Yeah, that's all Anakin's going to do. He's going to build a smaller scale Death Star laser and just shoot it through wormholes at people he hates, and then drop clone troopers in that he mass produces. He has a fully completed plan to fight the Empire. This is it.
I mean, it's not a bad plan if it wasn't for Anakin being the one in charge, apparently.
So he's pulling a Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, I mean, Saw Gerrera had it right. Anakin likes Saw Gerrera. Anakin personally lobbied for the Jedi Council to train domestic terrorists and give them all the skills and like technology and tactics that the Jedi could provide. He likes Saw.
And smuggle weapons through their, peace blockade, something.
Yeah. Yeah, no. You guys think Anakin has any morals about war crimes or like fucking, the right way to fight a galactic war? No, he doesn't. Watch all of Clone Wars. He never, every single time, stopping before it becomes a war crime comes up, Anakin's slams his fist on the table, but why can't we commit a war crime, brother dad?
Yeah. It keeps happening.
Yeah. What if war crimes?
So Anakin's big plan, if you don't stop it, is there's a move that empires can take where if they hate a location, they give you 10 minutes warning and then it gets nuked off the map. And he's going to do that for any place you guys hang out in from here on until you stop him. So enjoy, dickheads. Sleemos.
Yeah, so we need to stop this now if we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that info, is that enough to swing the spotlight back to the ground team, or do you want to keep going to the security center?
I think that's enough to swing the spotlight. I think we have answered enough questions there for now.
Like, it wasn't hard to get Steelhead on board with this plan after Maul mysteriously went missing because Tora helped Anakin get the coordinates for Zigzag and drop him on Maul. How do you think Zigzag got to Kamino so fast? They dropped him in orbit from a wormhole. Anakin has a special connection with animals sometimes, and he was able to calm him down. Anakin got Maul out of the way, specifically so he could take over the Alliance, specifically so he could be in charge, so he could nuke cities whenever he wants and be surrounded by, what do you call them, loyal and sycophantic clone troopers. So he could be a holy tyrant and rule the galaxy alone.
No, he doesn't
even need other people if he just has clones that do whatever he says.
Yeah. And, like, again, they unfroze him from cryo freeze at the end of season 1, and that was largely the worst thing they could have ever possibly done, because he's far more competent at this than they were. What? You want 3 to 5 people making decisions all the time? What? No, kill those guys, and I'll make all the decisions, and I'm always right. I'm the chosen one. I'm destined to succeed.
I was never wrong in my entire life.
I have never made a single mistake in my entire life once.
Says the guy with robot legs.
It's an improvement.
Yeah. So we'll swing the spotlight back to the ground team. So you're ferreting people to that launch pad. Is there a ship in that area already that you're going to get people onto?
Yeah, I think we were going to use one of the ships that they were using to like haul supplies. Like, assuming that they have like a cycle of shuttles that are basically just like moving stuff up. So instead of moving, rock and crystal and whatever, we're moving people.
Okay.
But in a good way.
A threat I want to throw your way, since now it's very clear that a war has started, is that low-flying aircraft are going to start doing bombing runs across this trench and are going to try to blow up that ship. How do you want to deal with that?
Is it just aircraft, like, or is it like their aircraft are trying to do this?
Yeah, it's like clone troopers in, like, fighters and aircraft and stuff trying to, like, deal with you jackasses.
Awesome.
Good thing we're very mobile.
Yeah, we really are. Oh, wait, we really are. I'm gonna fly up and try to meet them and do melee combat with their bombers.
Do battle with the ships.
Yeah, it's going to be that scene where the droid lands on the outside of the ship, looks down at the pilot, and possibly like just pulls them out of the cockpit.
Perfect.
If it goes well. This could easily not go well.
All right.
I'm going to go.
No, continue.
He's going to...
I'm going to go for like smaller fighters to, just teleport into them, like those Braves from Matrix 2, just straight into the ship and, take them out from the inside.
Awesome. I'm going to tell an anecdote about Nicole that isn't mean if she hears me telling this anecdote, but the whole time we were talking about the Matrix and watching the Matrix Reloaded, I kept saying the twins, they can go through this, they can go through that. And she's like, do you mean the vampires? I'm like, no, the twins, the albino guys with dreadlocks that can turn into wraiths and shit. The twins. It's like, what, that one guy? It's like, no, there are 2 of them. The twins. And she's like, what twins? And like, it was just this back and forth until she saw them on screen. Like, oh, right. Okay. There are twins. There's 2 of them. I'm like, yes. The twins.
They're so indistinct.
like it was like this moment where she just didn't know, just because she hadn't seen the movies in a super long time. But everyone kept calling them the twins, and it was just you don't hear the word.
It would just be so weird, to be like, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't remember any of these characters having a double. What are you talking about?
Right? And then you get to them, you're like, oh, right.
Oh, it's the most boring answer. They are just twins. Yeah, okay.
The implication...
At some point, like, one of them... Go on.
The implication is they're actually the same program inhabiting 2 bodies, because all of the weird supernatural shit in The Matrix Reloaded are programs from the previous version of the Matrix called the Torture Matrix, where it was basically people were in Ravenloft and there were supernaturals everywhere, and that didn't go so well. So these guys are basically programs that never got officially deleted or returned to the source and are just hanging out in this more grounded megacity reality and are supernaturals that agents hunt down and kill and the Merovingian keeps. So, like, they're just supernatural critters from a previous Matrix.
Yeah,
that would
I
be
love
a
that
fun
shit.
game.
Yeah.
You're like in another world, but you're like sorts of creatures from the previous version of this world.
Yeah, it's like what if World of Darkness, but you stopped. It wasn't keeping secrets and secretly being powerful. You just do cool stuff.
Yeah, and Seraph, the dude in white that fights Neo, he was an agent from the first Matrix, the Paradise Matrix, which was like a heaven.
Nice.
Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, the twins are actually one entity, they kind of imply, that just shares two bodies. And that's why they're like, we are annoyed, we are upset, and they'll talk to each other because, why not? They're kind of weird.
They're the twin playbook.
Yeah, the pair. There you go.
Yeah.
So, can I pause for a sec?
Yeah.
All right, and we're back. So, fighters aboard, you're going to interact with them. How are you handling this? How are you two sweeping it up, just to recap?
I was gonna fly up to meet them.
And I was going to be teleporting through into the cockpits, just murdering them on the inside where they're alone.
Yeah.
Do you just? Oh yeah, you just have that power, right, Pete?
Yeah. Boogeyman.
Excellent.
So I think
good to know.
I'll do like a keep them busy in order to like keep them from just beelining straight into the to the bombers or like pulling an A-wing.
Right, and that'll just force them to shoot at you and fire at you while Peter goes through and kills all the pilots, right? No police.
Yeah. No police.
Yeah, roll keep him busy, and Pete's stuff just kind of happens automatically, and that should kind of hold the line.
That's a 12. 2 5s.
What's that?
Good God. Yeah, that's going to go really fast then. You're going to blow through this. So the fighters are being destroyed. They're crashing around you. They're shooting. You can hear that your forces that are on the planet are moving closer to this area and just, moving through the clone troopers and covering this area. You're able to get people on that transport. Where's that transport going to be heading?
Is Kyanite command here?
No, because they're going to get shot down by the ships in orbit and stuff, and they don't want to risk it.
Oh, true. All right. I think we might just be trying to head like generic away, in the hopes that the Alliance, arrives. Like,
I mean, you got that ship
have
right above you. That
okay, yeah,
Lambert's
actually,
on.
that'll work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, so after you guys do your horrific thinning of the herd for the clone troopers, you both realize that you have to wait for Lamnar to complete their part of the plan before it escalates. So I guess we'll swing the spotlight back to them. So the security room is being guarded by clone troopers. There's security warnings going everywhere. Clones are on high alert. How do you want to play this? Because you won't be able to get in through the vents. You'll have to go in through the front door.
I'm going to activate my next web trap, and I'm literally just going to come through the front door, the doors. When I go to Behead, I'm going to ask him to burst open the door as I come crawling in through the ceiling, centipede spider monster that I am, and scare them to run away.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that works immediately. Good job. Tora walks in after you.
I really like this Dark Fortune trap. It's great.
Yeah.
Right? Just break their morale.
The clones are all like, we're too old for this.
They're only 10 years old.
Right. So what's your plan now, Lamb?
Yeah. I'm going to go to the computers and do what I do best and hack into them to get control of the loading bay doors so I can open them when I want to. And get in contact with Dom and ask him the status of harrying and baiting the troops into the loading bay.
They absolutely are working on that and making that happen, but they're worried that they're not going to be able to get everyone in there just because that's not how anything works. Not everyone's going to absolutely leave their post to go check it out. So
I turn to Tora and I ask her, "Can you get all the troops from the ship onto the loading bay?"
Yeah, she has a plan. What do you got that would help? Let me see here. What we got. I'm trying to see what move would cover this. Like, we're trying to trick these people into getting there in like a really clever-ish way. I guess it would be finishing them. Okay. For this to work,
or it'd be
before you get the kind of advantage you need to finish all of these clone troopers and dump them out of the ship, someone has to have control of the bridge. So she can handle one aspect of it here, but for you to enact the finish them, you have to get to the bridge and use the bridge controls.
Okay.
She can give you advantage to take out all the troops on board, but you can only enact that advantage by using the bridge.
Okay, so we have to then go to the bridge and then do it there.
Yeah, it's like she'll hang out here in security. You got to head there and split.
All right, me and Meat head split then and head off quickly to the bridge to deal with them.
You just able to avoid any confrontation along the way, or are you going to? What do you think you're going to run into?
I'm going to have to roll I think because everyone's on high alert, there's still going to be like troops just looking for the enemy in the hallways.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and roll like getaway to.
Yeah, getaway sounds like this is solid.
Past them. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Getaway.
All right, and that is a solid 10.
Oh.
So the 4 and my plus 2. So.
Okay, you and are able to get to the bridge. It's staffed. How are you dealing with the staff in there? Because they're going to like defend the bridge from interlopers.
My getting away gave me 1 web. I could literally just spend it to do another dark portent and scare them off. But you know what? I just want to have some fun with it. I'm going to. It's the loop. I literally go someplace, get web, scare them away. Go to another place, get web, scare them away. It's a cycle now. But for the sake of having fun with this, I'm going to just burst up the door and throw some like solid disc pucks on the floor under their feet and activate my bear trap, which immobilizes them until they pry free. This will cause immense distracting pain.
Yeah, we went over this last session actually when they did that to Palpatine in a future vision. So yeah, they're all stuck in electro like shock, binds, like a shock disc that's keeping them in place. Cool. All right, you alert Tor that you're on the bridge?
Yep.
Okay, so the holo emitters and the screens aboard the ship show Anakin clearly cut from different footage that she's quickly spliced together, where he's saying words from different conversations and different like things. Where it's all like, "Troops, it's me, Anakin your general. You must go to the cargo bay immediately. Do not disappoint me." And the soldiers, a good soldier follows orders. They start marching to the things. Like all of you, 100%, even the ones that think you wouldn't.
I'm just, again, looking at that image, looking at the back of my hands, looking up, I'm like, how did I not realize before? Everyone's so dumb.
So now they're in the cargo bay, and you have bridge controls.
And I do what I do best. I immediately warn Dom and the rest to grab onto something and hold on tight as I open the bay doors and send everyone to I wouldn't say it's a painless death, but I send them all into just fall to their deaths anyway.
I mean, they're in their clone trooper armor.
Yeah, it's going to take
a fiery death.
It's going to take way longer for them to burn to death in the molten rock you drop them into.
Well, and
anyway,
okay.
You guys on the surface see that maneuver happen and realize that the ship is probably under Ally control.
It probably needs more people to man it now.
Yeah. Well, guess what we have? A bunch of people who don't know how to man a ship. I'm sure it's easy to.
I mean, it's not like a big giant capital ship. I said it was like a transport, right?
Yeah.
Like a not a command. I don't remember what word I used.
I probably have an astromech droid somewhere in my group.
Yeah. So you're gonna get the people on board, and I'm guessing you're gonna punch at Chewie to get the survivors out of here.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, you're able to save a bunch of people.
We're gonna get Do we want to give like the clear out command to our forces?
Oh
Yes,
yeah, because they're
well,
gonna still have to do the fight because there's other people that have to be rescued by the ships that are about to come in. But you were able to
Oh,
save
true.
people from the work camp from dying violently.
Okay, cool.
Also, yeah, there's a capital ship in orbit that this ship was supposed to deliver goods to that's still technically up there.
ram it.
No, this isn't that kind of ship. It doesn't have an armored prow.
Fine,
Right.
ram it gently and just activate all the Kyber Crystals.
Just,
You do have this place is loaded with a lot of Kyber crystals in its like deep storage. Like the cargo bay is for receiving and exporting goods, but they have storage not directly in the cargo bay, and it's loaded to bear with
Yeah.
Kyber crystals.
and like
I mean,
I'm almost
if
wondering
those-
if we could push our luck and try to take the big ship too, but
if we were to dump those volatile crystals into the mine, would there be a chain reaction of sorts?
Probably not.
yeah,
Okay.
I think we've already taken the mine anyways, though. Like,
The planet is so damaged that it probably would not make that big of a difference. Like setting off an A bomb in the Marianas Trench won't do anything. The Marianas Trench is just too big. But to a extremely fragile, thin metal ship protecting you from the vacuum of space, a different story.
like we have, so we took a shuttle up that was big enough to put people, like a sizable number of people on, and got into a bigger ship. We could just send that smaller ship at the capital ship, unless that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And in that case, we could ram it.
Or just send it to their docking bay.
The bomb
All right.
strapped into the cargo load full of crystals.
Yeah, you load the drop pod to bear full of Kyber crystals and like some explosives so they go, unstable. And you send that up to them being like, oh, the ship was compromised. You have to take the cargo before we lose everything. And they're like, of course, a good soldier follows orders. And that's going to cause an explosion in that capital ship that's going to render it inoperable. It'll drift in orbit. And at that note, the Rebel Alliance's pickup ships start arriving and shooting at the other ones in the fleet. And you now have an actual Rebel Alliance skirmish happening to like pick people up and like push back on the Spider and Snake Alliance here. Which I think, before you guys move on to where Steelhead is in orbit around the sun in that megastructure, is a good place to call it for the night.
Yeah, I like
Sounds
that.
good.
Sounds, yeah.
All right. So, I was Devin.
This was Adam.
This is Jonathan.
And Peter.
And this is sponsored by Nobody. Signing off.